27 days, 27 nights, Mac 11 Ks. 40 got a knife, got this light skin, she bad, put her on a flight. She said, you only want to hit. I said, damn, girl, you're right. Miles Bridges is gone. Hip hip hooray. In case you haven't seen, the Charlotte Hornets are trading Miles Bridges, a 2029 first round pick, and a 2027 second round pick to the Phoenix Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a 2033 first round pick. Now, already, seeing this trade kind of blew my mind. But I had to dive deeper. I had to swim through that cloud of uncertainty to really make sure. And it's even crazier than I thought. Because that 2033 first round pick is Phoenix's, and it's completely unprotected. Do you know how far 2033 is? Assuming you can count, you probably do. But 7 years. Just to refresh your memory on what was happening 7 years ago, KD and Kyrie go to Brooklyn. Russ and CP3 get traded for one another. AD gets traded to the Lakers. Kawhi and PG end up on the Clippers. Oh, and of course the biggest move of all, Julius Randle to New York. Well, actually, if you want to relate it to these teams, Kemba gets traded to Boston. And what the heck did Phoenix do in 2019? Sign Ricky Rubio? So yeah, point is, 2033 is really far away. But I said, hold on. Because Charlotte is also sending out a 29 first round pick. And if that's theirs, that could be even better. And then I saw those two words, less favorable. It's the least favorable of Charlotte, Utah, Cleveland, or Minnesota. 4 teams. 2 of them already being playoff teams. And one of them probably not too far off from getting there with the core they're building. And this is only 3 years away. I'm going to say this right off the bat. I do not like this trade for Phoenix at all. And it's also not like Miles Bridges is some franchise-changing player or anything. Even if you want to say that he is a 20-point-per-game guy, you didn't get him for just picks. You gave up 2 pretty decent role players. I know Grayson Allen's efficiency this year was not what it once was. But still, it's not like you're simply slotting him into this core that just made the playoffs. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a worse record next year. But what makes this trade so interesting is that I'm stumped. Because it depends on what context I'm looking at it from. As a standalone trade, this is phenomenal for Charlotte. I can't believe they were able to pull this off. But when I'm looking at the totality of it, when I'm looking at the fact that you traded your 2 longest tenured guys in the same week, I don't actually love what Charlotte is doing. I think there's such a thing as being too proactive. Because yeah, the ultimate goal is to win a championship, and this Hornets core wasn't going to get there. But guess what? 99% of young cores aren't going to get there either. And majority of them you could probably tell ahead of time that they're not going to get there. Take Portland, for example, because they're the first team who came to mind. Does anyone think that Avdia, Scoot, and Klingon are going to win a championship? I really doubt anyone thinks that. But could you imagine telling the players, telling the fans, hey, I know we just made the playoffs. I know we just had a shocking season. But we're actually going to blow it all up because we're not going to win a championship. That would suck. You can't keep resetting until you get a championship caliber guy. You can't just rack up those draft picks until you hit on someone generational. So honestly, I think it's a big FU to the players and the fans that you just had your first successful year since 2016. Yeah, you missed the playoffs. I'm not going to act like you reached unbelievable heights, but you were 1 win away. And if you played the way you did in the year 2026 for the whole season, you would have been incredible. Now, that's probably not sustainable, but even if you played 70% of the way you played this year, you would have been a playoff team. Because now the real kicker is that all the tanking, or I don't even know if you could call it tanking, they've just been straight up bad, that you've done for the past decade, is for nothing. You have nothing to show for it. There were no playoff games, and you didn't get any tangible young talent with all the trades you made. You trade Kemba for Rozier, and got okay value out of him, but nothing special. You signed Gordon Hayward to that massive contract. He actually had an all-star level season for you in 2021. And then you waited 3 more years to flip him for nothing special. Malik Monk, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, LaMelo Ball, James Bouknight, Mark Williams. It's also funny to think there are pictures of Shea and Jalen Duren wearing Hornets hats. I know those draft day trades are a little iffy. I understand it's not like, oh, we really wanted Shea, but then at the last second, the Clippers made us an offer we can't refuse. But the fact is, you could have had those guys, and you chose not to. And yeah, you hit on Brandon Miller in 23, but for one, you drafted Tijon Salon the very next year. And 2, as awesome as Miller is, he's not a guaranteed star yet. Anything could happen in his career. And look, no young players getting drafted to Charlotte thinking that they're going to be part of something great. But it's such a slap in the face to Brandon Miller. Now that we've finally shown something, we're actually going to take it away from you. And you have to restart. And you have to be okay with that. With the fact that we don't actually want to compete because we don't think you or Khan or Kalkbrenner are going to be good enough to lead us to any sort of real success. So we would rather just be back in the dumps. And it's not as bad for those last two. They were only rookies. They kind of just got to accept what's put in front of them. But Khan is something special. And I definitely think he's more of a ceiling raiser than a floor raiser. He's a guy who should be contributing to winning basketball, if you ask me. And he's not going to experience that for a long time. Hornets fans today should be happy, should be ecstatic with this trade. But having to accept the fact that you're taking a huge step back, that you're probably going to go back to those 20-win years, it's not going to be fun. Like I said, 2033 is a long way away. That waiting period is going to suck. And I don't think that's an easy reality to accept.
Can you follow me back on Instagram?
Yeah, I don't run it.
Huh?
I don't run it.
You don't?